Hey you, let's play Never Have I Ever. Alright, I'll start. Never have I ever been at a 11 and under peewee football game and tried to fist fight a 10-year-old. Look at that. Not one of you put a single finger down. On top of that, I've noticed you're all sitting there looking at me like I'm crazy to even suggest it. You are absolutely correct to assume a grown man would never attempt to fight a child under any conceivable circumstance. Well, you'd be shocked to learn that I found the one person on the planet that would have to put one finger down in that scenario. See for yourself.
Oh, hands. Oh, he's up.
Yes, sir. First basketball. Bud. Chill up.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, when I said I found the one dude on Earth willing to fight a child, I didn't mean just the video. I meant I found his Facebook profile, which includes him attempting to defend himself for the action. I did my research and I'll be sharing everything with you that I found. So let's start with the game and altercation itself. Backstory on this is that it's 11 and under football league in Louisville, Kentucky. The game took place in late September of this year between the number 19 ranked 10th Street Cardinals and the second ranked Camaro Boys. For whatever it's worth, it's stated in the video these are national ranks. Just gonna tell you right now, I did some digging and have no idea where these rankings are derived from. Everything points to the conclusion being just like that TV show, Whose Line Is It Anyways? These rankings are completely made up and don't matter whatsoever. I literally think they just have their city ranks and then claim it that it's national, to be honest. The guy who got laughed at by the same children he was trying to intimidate is a coach for the Camaro Boys. I guess I should specify, I couldn't confirm that he's a coach, but one would have to assume that's the case because why else would he be on the sideline and not in the stands? So here we are in the third quarter. Number 2 team in the country, Camaro Boys, are leaking oil and we're close to having to pull over on the side of the road as we find ourselves down 18-0. We got quads right, call a Y bubble crack. Fortunately for the defenders, the crackback block wasn't quite able to find his angle. QB throws a nice ball, gets it out nice and quick, and his receiver makes a couple good moves towards his own sideline, running hard and drawing a face mask penalty. That's 15 extra yards, automatic first down. It's pretty standard, clearly accidental by number 9 on the defense. It's football. It happens, no biggie. Ref throws flag, take your yardage, and let's play on. Well, unless of course you're this sorry ass excuse for a man, in which case this face mask was in fact purposeful, definitely had malicious intent behind it, and didn't just warrant the player being thrown out of the game, but deserved an ass whooping on the spot, one that only he could deliver. To be clear, I'm not speculating that he feels this way. I'm telling you what I know. So let me show you the clip again, and this time I'll include some subtitles for what he's saying. Take a quick listen.
It's a kid.
I already said it, but just to reiterate, and I want to know if there's any way that I'm wrong or if you disagree with me, every single part of this video tells me it was incidental. That was a shifty receiver. Made some good moves, and the defender is making an honest attempt at the tackle. Receiver cuts inside, the defender sticks out a hand to grab anything that he can, and he accidentally gets the face mask. Not malicious in any way, he even lets go immediately. The ref throws the flag, and number 9 has the body language of, yep, got me. That's my bad, boys. Anyone who has ever played and or been around football at any level has seen this play over 100 times. We would all agree it should have ended right there. Ball carrier calls for the penalty, he gets it, he's uninjured, and he's not even mad. There's literally no incident to be had by anyone here. Well, unless, of course, you have the maturity level of a 10-year-old. Whoops, sorry. That's giving this guy too much credit. The kids on the field are 10 years old and act more grown than him. I can't even give his maturity level an age. I'm just gonna say unless of course you are a full-blown maniac who isn't safe to be present at a sports setting because you believe incidental contact is somehow a personal shot directed at you or your kid during the game. By now you've noticed that not only did he stand over and flex on a literal child, trying to intimidate him, which is bad enough in a vacuum, but it was the wrong one. Obviously, I'm not saying he should have done this to any kid, but if you're gonna make this big of an idiot out of yourself, you should at the very least get the player you're mad at correct. I think what's hilarious too is seeing the 10 and 11-year-olds just standing there staring at him. Not even scared or intimidated in the slightest. They're all just as shocked as all the adults are because even they can't believe how out of line this guy is. I like the little man in the back barking back at him and giving him that pumping up the crowd gesture too. The ref didn't even step in at first, and then you see him just snap his head back at him stunned. And I can't fault the ref because why would he have ever assumed this grown-ass man was flexing on the opposing team's players? He probably just assumed at first that this guy was a coach yelling at his players about missing blocks or misalignment or whatever, which is reasonable. However poorly you've ever felt at your lowest point, just find some level of solace knowing you've never been at a function for kids 11 and under of any kind and been the least mature human at said event. Even the kids on his team are confused. The Camaro boys as players are just standing there looking at him. So then you hear the other Camaro coaches out there on the field going, dude, calm down, chill out, and waving him back to get away from the field. And he's still back there yelling, and the other adults and coaches have to be absolutely shocked at how this lunatic ended up on their sideline. So then you hear him say, dude, they're just kids. Have to just be so embarrassed for themselves and him that it even needs to be said out loud. It's absolutely pathetic. I don't even have the words. I'm just embarrassed for everybody involved. And honestly, I feel for whoever his kid is, and any other family member at the game that had to see this all go down. I have no idea if his kid was the one running the ball. I really don't want to get into nor talk about any of the kids, but you'd have to imagine with that level of an outburst that it was maybe his son whose face mask was the one that got pulled. But this is America, so I suppose it's only fair we hear from the accused and allow him a proper opportunity to defend himself and share his side of the story. And quick side note before we get into all the comments, I purposefully haven't mentioned this guy's name, and I'll be redacting it out in all pictures I show. If you really want to find it, you have plenty of information in this video to do so. I have absolutely zero respect for him as a person, but with that being said, even he doesn't deserve to be doxxed and harassed online, so I won't be attacking him personally, or directly I should say. I guess this video is in fact somewhat personal, but I politely ask the same from you. So naturally, like many of you, when I stumble across a clip like this, my initial reaction is to rush into the comments and see how others feel about this, see any jokes people were making, or possibly gain additional context. At first, it was just a bunch of people commenting pretty much what you'd expect, talking about how that'd be a real issue if that was their son he walked up on like that. Legitimate, totally understandable. Making fun of him and just being shocked that he actually did that to a 10-year-old and how he needs to be off the field away from the kids. All valid points. So then as I scroll down, I find this gentleman who flat out calls out and publicly tags this dude in the comments. And sure enough, it is in fact the very guy in question. For the sake of keeping some level of anonymity, let's refer to our culprit as VZ. I'll keep the messages up on the screen for you, but we'll be paraphrasing through them as we go. So he just straight up asks him, so VZ, this is what you're up to nowadays, huh? VZ comes back and responds to him with, man, listen, look, I already spoke with Coach. It's behind us, all right? But the cat is officially out of the bag. Floodgates have been opened. VZ has now been publicly exposed and is now going through the social media stoning ritual. Just getting dogpiled by the entire comment section. He comments below that, and for real, I'm not going to be going back and forth with all these people taking all these shots at me. If we have a problem, I big promise we can get active and start throwing some hands around. After seeing this man step up to a 10-year-old, very few people seem too shaken up by his threats. You can see all the replies people had from him on your screen. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them, but a lot of them are really funny. The one thing I will say though, our boy is in fact lucky. This guy commenting is correct and brings up a good point. Had he done that to the wrong person's kid, or I guess you could even consider it as the right person, I suppose, or had that kid's parents seen this all go down, he could have been in a world of trouble. Definitely got off light, all things considered. VZ goes on talking about how you guys don't even know me, so keep talking all this trash and you're gonna learn a thing or two. Stay in your lane. I stay ready to crash out. And then he says it's nothing for him to lay in them racks about me and mine. I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea what that last part means. I thought racks meant, money or tits or something, so do what you will with all that information. I will give him this though, he's certainly not lying about the staying ready to crash out at any given moment. That much we do know is true. But yeah, as you can see, he just continues to get slammed by all the people in the comments, and rightfully so. VZ makes another appearance, now saying, hey, however all you guys want to play this, I'm here for it. Bring your best crew and let's run fives at the practice fields. Which is hilarious, because my first thought is, well, are we running like 5v5 tackle football? But then when I hear 5v5, I typically think basketball. So maybe I don't know, maybe there's some outdoor courts there. But joking aside, we'd have to assume he means a fight, you know, Anchorman style between the different news stations where you just crew up and then, you know, meet in the alley. VZ then goes on saying, you know, I'm sick of you guys acting like you're all coaches. I'm on some street shit. You need to live life as you were. Go your way. And then I think at the end here, he's saying, I know you guys are gonna play police games, which I have to assume is saying like he'd show up there for a fight and then you'd all be too afraid of him to throw hands and would just call the cops on him. The very first comment below him on that one doesn't seem too worried. Just simply goes, yeah, no, that sounds good to me. So where's the practice fields at? Can I get an address from you, please? I got my 5. I'm good to go. which is priceless. After all, like, you know, the empty calorie threats. So then VZ comes in one last time and says, yo, look, I'm telling you guys, when this switch gets flipped, there's no going back. Better do your homework on me and learn a thing or two about me and my crew. We move differently. I'm done talking about this. Just know that I'm the wrong guy to be talking crazy to like this. Well, I won't speak for any of his crew or friends, but I'd have to imagine the people he hangs out with and associates with can't be too proud of this moment and will probably create some distance between them and VZ, which is 100% the right move. And everyone in the comments agrees with me, which really isn't saying anything at all. We're all just stating the obvious and taking the stance any reasonable human or any reasonable adult would have. I mean, this isn't something to be right or wrong about. It's literally just a normal person versus being a flat out lunatic. So whenever someone has a massive screw up like this, I try to remind myself that he or she is dealing with something that I know nothing about. We all are. However, just because you have a lot going on or are super stressed out, you don't now have a license to act like a total idiot and not get called out for it. My man VZ is no different. He definitely took a pretty massive L that day. And then another massive L when people found his online profile and could trash talk him publicly and directly. They say that when you're in a hole, step 1 is to stop digging. The right move here is to either say nothing or admit you messed up, take your lumps, and then be a better person moving forward. VZ, however, took a different approach, which was to throw out the shovel and bring in the excavator, which is a bold strategy, I gotta admit. It seems as though in terms of online, this is now kind of laying dormant in the comments, so it may be done in terms of the public mudslinging. I'll definitely keep you posted and provide any updates if something new does happen. I haven't watched any other games from the Camaro boys, but I'd be hard pressed to think old VZ is still hanging out on the sidelines. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. What'd you think about this incident as a whole? What would you have done if you were there, whether you're a parent or a coach or any other spectator? And what'd you think about his response on Facebook to everyone just dunking on him? Just an insane incident. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it, and a hilarious nighttime reading session in the comments, so I decided to make a quick video about it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.